Yes, it's that time again. It is Miss Jones's story time. So, as you know, we're reading Key Hunters, The Mysterious Moonstone. So, I hope you guys are enjoying it and you're answering the questions to correlate with these. So, you can either answer the questions in the comments below, or you can answer the questions by clicking on the Facebook page in the description. Okay, so we're on chapter 7, and we have a new picture. And in this picture, what do you think is happening? Comment below what you think is happening right now, or what is getting ready to happen. So we're in the house, and we've spoken with a couple different characters, and we're learning some different things. We now know that the daughter of Colonel Musgrave and Lady Musgrave, Beatrice, actually was the last person to see the Moonstone. And the Moonstone, I want you to comment below if you remember what the Moonstone actually is. What kind of jewel is it? Let me know what you remember, or you can go back to the other video. Okay, so chapter 7. When they found her, Beatrice Musgrave was lying across her bed in her nightgown. She coughed into a lacy white handkerchief. I was planning to wear the Moonstone in my wedding tiara tomorrow, she wailed. Now the diamond is gone, and I've come down with a case of the croup. She coughed again. Evan didn't think it sounded very serious. When was the last time you saw the Moonstone? Artie asked. Nearly 2 hours ago, she said. I placed it on my pillow while I fetched some glue. She pointed to a bottle on the nightstand. Goopy gold liquid dripped down the side. Why'd you need glue? Evan asked. How else could I attach the diamond to my tiara? Beatrice said. When I returned, the Moonstone was gone. Was anyone else here? Cleo asked. Only me, Beatrice said. Kumar entered holding a silver tray. Your tea, Miss Beatrice. Thank you, Beatrice said. Kumar, Artie said. Where were you when the stone disappeared? No pictures again. There is something that I do want to show you, and I'll show you once I get to that point. In the kitchen, stirring the soup with Chef Letta. He held out his arms. You can see it on my sleeves. Beatrice poured cream into her tea. Kumar didn't steal the Moonstone, she said. He's practically family. Someone stole it, Artie said. Someone in this very house. Beatrice coughed again and then leaned toward them. I know who did it. Who? Evan and Cleo said at once. Beatrice held the back of her hand to her forehead. I can't say, she cried dramatically. Watson quietly woofed at her. Woof. All right, I'll tell you. She held her handkerchief to her face. Last week, I overheard a conversation. The person said getting his hands on the gem is the most important thing in his life. Who said that? Demanded Artie. Who stole the Moonstone? Beatrice's hands were shaking so much her teacup rattled against her saucer. My fiance stole the Musgrave Moonstone. It was Richard Cunningham III. Okay, so I'm going to show you. It's just a key, but I like the little designs on the pages. So Evan, Cleo, and Artie made their way toward the second floor landing, where a stairway led to Cunningham's room. Gas lamps lit the hallway, and the deep, blood-red moon filled the window at the top of the stairs. Oh, the grandfather clock, Cleo said. Let's have a look. At least 8 feet high, the clock towered above them. The base was made of four carved stags whose antlers supported the case. Above it, behind a glass door, hung gleaming chimes and a long brass pendulum that swung back and forth. Above that, a silver clock face stared out, as large as a pizza pan and encircled by gems of every color. At the top, a large red ruby glinted at the 12 o'clock mark. That's one fancy clock, Evan said. Artie climbed on a chair and looked closely at the lowermost gem. Fancy, but fake, he said. Fake? Cleo said. We studied gemology in police training, Artie said. Those stones may look lovely, but they aren't worth much. They continued across the landing. The entry hall stretched below them. Their footfalls echoed on the floor. There sure are a whole lot of suspects, Evans said. And a lot of opportunity, Theo added. People have been running all over the house to get ready for the wedding. Evan opened his journal. There's Kumar, Beatrice, Cunningham, Chef Lilith, Lady Musgrave, and Colonel Musgrave himself. Those of you who know all about Clue know that there's a character, Colonel Mustard, that I keep thinking of every time I say Colonel Musgrave. Back to the story. You don't think Colonel or Lady Musgrave would steal their own gem, do you? Cleo said. You never rule someone out until you can rule him or her out for sure, Artie said. Worthington told us the gem was insured for over £1,000,000. That means if we don't find the diamond, Musgrave gets the money. Colonel Musgrave has many problems, Evans said. I saw past due bills on his desk. But what about Cunningham? Cleo said. Beatrice said, let's speak to him before we draw conclusions, Artie said. And what about the banker? Evan offered, adding Worthington to his list. He knew the stone was here too. The chandelier above them jingled. Cleo looked up before she could say anything. It fell, or it began to fall. She shoved Evan and Artie and dove out of the way. The chandelier missed them by inches, smashing to the floor. Shards of crystal flew everywhere. Artie scrambled to investigate. The chandelier was a twisted wreck. That was close, Evan said. What are the chances a chandelier would drop right when we're walking under it? Artie examined the rope that had fastened it to the ceiling. The chances were good, he said. Someone cut this rope. So now, we have our characters, and all of them, they're running from the chandelier that is falling. Where's Watson? Cleo asked worriedly. They heard a woof from the far side of the hallway. Watson was sniffing at the bottom edge of a curtain. Artie pulled it aside to reveal a hook on the wall. A frayed rope hung from it. This is where the person cut the rope, Artie said. They must have escaped out this open window. They looked out, a narrow ledge wrapped around the building. Probably a good thing they're gone, Cleo said. If they cut the rope, it means they're holding a knife. She moved close to Evan. Do you really think solving this crime will help us get out of this crazy book? She whispered. There's only one way to find out, Evan said. And remember, Miss Hamilton's letter. Keep our eyes open for a key and anything that might help us find her. Oh, one thing's for sure, Cleo said. What's that? Evan said. You're doing a great job proving you're not totally fragile. Okay, so where did we hear that? Do you remember that one? So that was the end of this. Where did we hear that Evan was totally fragile? Okay, so now we've met some characters. I want you to tell me, who do you think stole the Moonstone? Either write in the comments below or click on the Facebook page and write your answers in on the chapter number that has a comment area. So chapter 8 has this picture. And we'll pick up that story tomorrow. Bye. Enjoy your week.